it going? In today's lesson, I want to share with you 3 steps to what I applied to my own guitar practice, which helped me practice for 110 days straight, and how you can do the same, if not beat it. Let's hop in. My name is Will Ripley. You're tuning in for Campfire Guitar Star. All right, welcome back to the channel. Hope you've been doing well. So one thing that I've heard a lot as a guitar instructor is so many guitar students, and maybe this is you too, so many guitar students don't know what to practice, they don't know how to structure their practice, and they don't know how to just get ahead with their guitar playing, and it can be really, really frustrating and challenging. So what I wanted to do is just share with you the system to which helped me practice 110 days straight. And it's something that really helped my technique and really helped boost me forward. So I was just kind of like licking it up, you know, on the intro there, especially focusing on this little lick that sounds like this. And I found out that when I was trying to do that lick, that I was really struggling with some of my hammer-on and pull-off moves. And just, I kind of found this general issue with my guitar playing. So that's one of the very first things in this lesson, is to kind of figure out what it is that you're struggling with, and possibly what your strengths are too, because I really believe, and actually I kind of picked this up from a Slash video, which was, he said you should focus on your weaknesses, but you should also focus on your strengths. And I think that there's something really potent in that. So yes, let's focus on some weaknesses, but also if you've got some really powerful strengths, make sure to develop those too. But in this video, we are gonna kind of focus more on our weaknesses and stuff that we wanna get better at. So as I was saying, I was really struggling with my pull-offs especially. And I was taking guitar lessons from a teacher that had shown me this rotating type of Slash-esque legato lick. So it's really just this minor pentatonic scale with an added flat 5. But like with hammer-ons, and then descending down with a different set of fingers. So when you combine all 4 fingers in this lick, it can really sound super fast and slick. So something like. So now I have that kind of like built into my system. I'm just able to pick up the guitar, and within a couple minutes of warming up, I can kind of rip some fast licks like that. But there was a point where that was just like absolutely not within my realm of ability. So the first thing that I wanted to suggest to you is to find something that you just cannot do on the guitar. And what we want to do is we just want to session that, but specifically with a timer. So there's all kinds of different ways you can have timers. Like I just say to my phone, set timer for 10 minutes, you know, or you can just even Google 10-minute timer, and then a 10-minute timer will instantly start. And so that's what I'm going to suggest is work on one of your weaknesses for 5 or 10 minutes. And what this can do for you is something really, really magical, because I think one thing that happens to us guitar players is, like, when we get a guitar in our lap, 2 things can happen. Either we lose track of time altogether, like 2 hours passes and we're like, whoo, that was awesome, you know, and I just love how guitar music does that for me. And then also sometimes when it can be the opposite, when we're working on something kind of challenging and new and difficult, like 5 minutes can feel like eternity. So you can imagine, like when I was working on this lick for 5 or 10 minutes, I was just sessioning like something super slow like that. So that was like 5 seconds, but imagine me doing that for 5 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna be able to play that hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 times. So it's really, really powerful to pick a weakness and session that with a timer. But what I wanna share with you is a couple other things that I did specifically to practice that 110 days straight. And the very first thing was to set that achievable goal. So I specifically practiced at least 10 minutes for 110 days. And I did this with a couple of aids, a couple of helpers. And one of which was to set a penance, or kind of like a penalty if I did not practice for 10 minutes. So, we'd all be lying if we can't set aside 10 minutes. So I knew that if guitar was as important as I said it was, that certainly I could set aside 10 minutes to practice. And if I didn't set aside that 10 minutes, what I did was I thought of the most uncomfortable thing that I could possibly do. And for me, that was the idea of waking up at like 2:30 in the morning and practicing guitar for 30 minutes. And that would be my penance if I didn't practice my 10 minutes during the day. And look, I'm a little bit extreme when it comes to guitar, I get it, but I do want to share with you what helped me practice for these 110 days and how it might be able to help you too. So the other thing that I did was I actually got an accountability buddy. So I told my friend exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, look, I'm trying to practice at least 10 minutes a day. Will you help me out? He said, yeah, sure. Well, what do you need? I'm like, okay, what I'm going to do is after I practice, I'm just going to send you like a done on text message. Okay. And that's it. I just need you to know that I'm done. Or I sent him a thumbs up or just the word done, just to show him like, okay, my daily practice is done. Okay. And so that was the other element that I want to share with you is the accountability partner. So your wife, your husband, your friend, whoever, like somebody that you can just help, or really they're helping you stay accountable. So see if you can get somebody else on board, even if that's just like a Facebook post, like day 21 complete, post that out to your Facebook world or whatever. But the more that you can kind of like create accountability in your life, that will really, really help you practice. And that's why, like, for instance, our one-to-one students really appreciate their lessons because they know that Thursday at 7 o'clock, their 1 hour guitar lesson is coming up. So, and if they're paying for that session, they're setting that time aside, like, let's get some practice in, right? So having an accountability partner or coach or just a friend, or like I'm saying, like these different ways of like applying accountability in your life, it's gonna be really, really helpful. So those are essentially the 4 steps to kind of mastering some sort of aspect of the guitar. First of all, finding what it is. Like maybe it's hammer-ons, maybe it's pull-offs, slides, maybe it's a particular lick, maybe it's a particular solo or whatever. Like it could be anything that you just cannot do on the guitar. Maybe it's like a chord switch from G to D or whatever the case is. So pick something that you're just weak at, just something that you just kind of suck at doing. And now the next step is to set an achievable goal, and I would maybe suggest 10 minutes. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 30 minutes or whatever, but you have to decide like what can you 100% do hands down every day without question. And for me, I decided it was 10 minutes, so I'm going to share that with you. So say it's 10 minutes. And specifically what you want to do is time that. Okay, so with your phone, with an actual egg timer, or Google that 10-minute timer or whatever the case is. And I learned this, by the way, from a really great book that you might want to check out called Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner. And that's where like my whole 5-minute guitar system, my book, and my old course and stuff like that, I don't offer it anymore, but that's where that whole system and stuff came from. But that's the big idea there, is to choose a achievable goal. And specifically to time that goal and to work on that weakness inside of that time. And at the end of 10 minutes, you just got to decide for yourself, do I keep on going on this? And it's totally okay to step away, like even put down the guitar and go do something else, because you just sessioned that one little aspect of your playing that you're trying to improve for 10 minutes with like hyper zoomed in focus and intensity. And the other 2 things that will definitely secure in a really solid practice regime is to set a penance, so a penalty. So if I don't practice for 10 minutes, like what is the most uncomfortable thing that you can think of that you would have to do if you don't get that 10 minutes in? Is it a cold shower? Is it, I don't know, like running down the street naked? Whatever it is. And like I said, for me, it was waking up at the middle of the night and having to go and practice guitar for 30 minutes. And then that additional aspect was to get accountability in your life. So whether that's a guitar coach or a friend or your Facebook feed or whatever the case is, just get somebody else on board to help you stay accountable to that daily practice. So in case you're wondering why I stopped at 110 days, basically I just got that particular technique under my fingers and I really got to a place where I was very satisfied with it. And now I'm focusing on other things. But that was one of the longest running practice regimes I've ever done, and certainly because like I actually timed it and I kept track of it on a daily basis. So I just know that it was at least 10 minutes a day for 110 days straight. And that's exactly how I did it. So hopefully you can pick something up from this video and just apply that to your own guitar playing and your own practice easily, because I know that this is something that a lot of guitarists just struggle with and are faced with this immense challenge of getting better. So hopefully you can at least grab some sort of nugget, if not the whole kit and caboodle here. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'll catch you in the next one. And until then, keep on ripping it up.